For some reason, I don't know if I'm going to enjoy these books at all. And that's kind of why I wanted to do this video, because I was like, I think I need to prove myself wrong.
Hi, I'm Lucy, and I typically read these genres. I thought I liked romance, but
There was zero character development. Nothing's really happened. Is that all these books are?
this video taught me that I might be dead inside. But let's go back to the beginning.
I picked this one first because for some reason I thought I was gonna like this one least. I just read the first chapter and I'm already like into it. I'm like, oh, okay. I don't know, do you ever do that? I don't know why. It's like sometimes I see books on social media and I just get a vibe that they're not for me. We're gonna start with Flawless. I'll update you when I have something to say, which that'll be soon. I never shut up. I'm really liking it so far. The main character, who basically is losing his entire career because he doesn't like milk. I'm kind of with you on that one. Milk sucks. We're up to page 294 and this book is going a hell of a lot quicker than I thought it would. I'm just honestly like, I haven't really put it down. It's the same day and I'm really enjoying it, except I got up to the spice scene a little while ago and I was so uncomfortable reading it that I had to force my boyfriend to listen to the lines that were making me uncomfortable. I don't know what it is. I was thinking about it further and I think this like male love interest talks like Pyon, if that makes sense. And it just makes me uncomfortable. Like I'm just cringing at some of these lines. Like it's just one of those things where you sit there and you're like, not everything needs to be put into print. Do you know what I mean? I mean, if you like it, I'm so unbelievably happy for you. I'm not against spice. It was just the way Rhett was like saying some of these things that I was just like, ooh, but I'm a lady. But I am pretty confident that we'll finish this tonight. I've only got just under 100 pages left. Oh no, 100 pages pretty much on the dot. So that should be pretty simple. But honestly, I've been really impressed so far with Elsie Silver. I do really like her writing. I've loved the story so far. And it's just gone very quickly. Like in a way where I'm like, nothing's really happened, which usually is a bad thing to have gotten this far into a book. But it's not really in a bad way. Like I don't know, it's just gone really quickly and I'm really enjoying it. Good morning. So I finished Fearless. Is that the name of the book? The pink one that I was reading yesterday? Heartless? Fearless? I think it's Fearless. And I did really like it. I thought it was cute. I thought it was like a pretty easy read. Like for the most part yesterday, I really don't think I put it down that often. Like every time I sat down to read it, I'd get through like a solid chunk of it. And there were times when I was looking down, like I'd only remember to check what page I was on like every now and then. And I'd look down and I'd be like, Jesus Christ, like this book is going so quickly. I give it a 3-star. That rating for me isn't a bad rating. It's just like, you know, I enjoyed reading it. I just, you know, I wouldn't like be screaming at the top of my lungs to recommend it. I just don't think that anything really, like, how do I put this? There was no real crux to the story in my opinion. I don't, like in terms of the hero's journey, you know, a successful story structure, it didn't really have one. Like I was trying to work out like what the issue would be, like what they are trying to overcome. And I suppose it was the whole idea of her needing to fix him. I can fix him. Those kind of vibes, like babysitting him so he didn't get into any more trouble. Like now that I'm thinking about it, it presents itself that like the entire crux is like she's gonna have a hard time trying to like keep him in line, but he's like remarkably well behaved. This toddler that she's babysitting, this 32-year-old man. Yeah, like he was only really a dick to her for like 2 chapters and then they just start falling in love, which, you know, like that, I mean, it's a romance, like what else do you expect kind of thing. But I would have thought that there was a little bit more of a fight or maybe some more hurdles thrown in the mix, like maybe he fucked up in front of another sponsor kind of thing, but no, that didn't really happen. It was definitely just like a cozy romance in my opinion, but I didn't dislike it. I thought it was cute. It was a really easy read. The only downside to that book was the way that this male main character spoke during spice scenes. This is probably just personal preference, but I was getting very uncomfortable. Which one should we go with? Next up is Wild Love. She's been driving him wild for years. The kind of wild that comes with wanting your best friend's little sister and knowing you can't have her. Sorry. Also, I have these cute little magnetic bookmarks. So they sit on a page like that, right? And you pull them off. The only thing I'm struggling with is like bookmarks to me should be just like a quick little, like you shove it in, you close the book, you get on with your life. These ones, I have to like, I fiddle with them and then I have to like hold them delicately and then I have to like put them on the book. Like I have to find the page and I'm like, here we go, here we go. And then they snap on and it looks really cute like in the book. Like it's very dainty, demure. Sorry, we're not gonna do that. That'll be a dead meme by the time I upload this because I'm 27 years old and I can't keep up anymore. I did like Fearless or whatever, the Heartless or whatever that pink one is called. I can't even remember. So I'm intrigued to see how Wild Love is. I do like the cover. Let's Party Rock Anthem. Are these real places? Like Rose Hill and Chestnut Springs? Because like they're on a map next to like Calgary. And like Alberta's up here, which suggests the existence of Chestnut Springs, Rose Hill, Emerald Lake, and Ruby Creek. Much to ponder. Okay, we just finished chapter 1. World's hottest billionaire moves to Rose Hill, Canadian wilderness, gets a knock on his barn door from a girl claiming to be his biological daughter. How did she find him so fast? Like he literally just got there. She either got very lucky or she's been camping out. No, that doesn't make sense. How did she even know that he... I have so many questions. Thanks so much for listening. Okay, I'm up to like page 132. And it's getting very cute, but like, why is email banter like the funniest thing in the world to me? They're working in the same room and so they start emailing each other. She tells him he needs an email signature because hers is like, all my best, Rosalie Belmont. And he comes back with, have a happy day. Like that is my bread and butter. If I have banter with someone in the form of like professional email communication, it is fun. It's not as quick as the other one, I don't think so far for me. I'm intrigued to see where it's going, but I'm hoping in the next like this much of the book, we get like a real problem, if that makes sense. Because I know in the first one, Fearless, Heartless, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I can't for the life of me remember the name of that book. Is it in here? Flawless. It's called Flawless. There isn't one in that series called Fearless. Sorry. Anyway, I did notice in that one there didn't feel like there was a real apex in terms of like a problem that they had to solve. Like obviously the main plot, there's a setup, but like usually, you know, regardless of that, you get to a point and there's a big problem that happens and you have to resolve it. The resolution, if you will. So I'm hoping in the next like, you know, 30 pages-ish, that'll bring us to almost halfway through. And I would hope and expect that there is something that is actually an issue that we have to overcome. Because otherwise it just gets to the point where I'm like, I really am just reading a cutesy cozy romance for 400 pages. But personally, I'm like, I don't feel like I get that much from books that don't really have a, you know, like a crux to them, like a real, like, let's learn about humanity for a second. I don't feel like I get as much out of a book that doesn't explore like an issue or like we don't have to get political, but I just want something to go wrong. Is that like, I think that's basically what I'm asking for, but when you put it like that, that just seems mildly psychotic. Anyway, I'll let you know. Holy shit, that's so relatable. Holy shit. I hope Ford doesn't want to have sex with me tonight because I ate far too many hot dogs and s'mores. Okay, I finished Wild Love and was this cute? Yes. Was the banter great? Absolutely. Did anything happen? No. Not really. They just kind of fell in love, which, like, it's a romance book, so like that's fine, obviously. But it was too easy, in my opinion. You know how I was hoping for that, like, you know, midway point where like something goes wrong or there's a challenge or an obstacle they have to overcome. There really wasn't. Like, the book is set up in the really early stages as if there's all of this stuff that each character is going to have to overcome. there wasn't really any character development, at least from my point of view. They were kind of stayed the same the whole way through. So much was set up as like a maybe, in terms of like the book could go in this direction or this direction. There was a mother who was like clinically depressed, was sent to a clinic to get over her depression. An FMC who literally gets sexually assaulted at work by her boss or something in the first like 10 pages. There was a plan to build a recording studio, which they didn't have. Like, this was a plan from the ground up. They were going to build a recording studio. And a 12-year-old child that comes out of the blue, out of nowhere, which is bound to rock anyone's lives out of place. None of those things were like fleshed out. The 12-year-old kid fits in like a breeze, has the best time, not even slightly mopey in my opinion, is actually quite a polite, well-mannered, intelligent 12-year-old child. The assault in the workplace, like, yes, that comes into it a little bit at the end, but not really. Like, you kind of just forget it happened, to be honest. The mother, who was admitted to a facility for clinical depression, just magically gets better after like a few weeks, I'm guessing, or maybe a couple of months. I don't know what the timeline really was in the book, to be honest. And the recording studio never gets built. Like, it's just this secondary fleeting idea in the book, and like it comes up and they're getting quotes, they're ringing the contractors. Nothing happens though. And then the final 150 pages of the book was pretty much just like erotica, in my opinion. And once again, like, the main male character in the bedroom speaks in a way that makes me a little bit uncomfortable. The words that came out of his mouth sometimes, I was uncomfortable. But that is 2 down. We have 1 to go. I've matched the bookmark to this one, and I've saved this one till last because it's my favorite cover. Of the 3, it's my favorite cover, this whole series. The next one is like the orange one. It's like a photo finish or something, and I love that cover. So I'm excited to read this one, to be honest. Also, that's gorgeous. The jean material kind of look. Like, it's obviously a paperback, but like, that's so pretty. And this one is Ruby Creek. And by the way, I did notice there's a character in, I know that all the universes are kind of like interwoven in a way, and I believe there's a character in this that is in this one as well. Like, she's the sister of a character. Willa, I think it was. She was like the best friend in this one, and she's the sister of someone in this one. So I can totally see the draw card for a series where like you can read multiple different series and they all kind of play a role in each other. So you, like, when you read all of the series, you're getting the backstory for like everyone. And I do rate that. Like, I think that's pretty cute. However, I'm worried that there's no substance to these books. Does that make sense? Like, obviously I'll read this one. The premise of this video originally was like, of her, you know, of these 3 series by Elsie Silver, which one do I want to read more of? But if I'm being completely honest, like, nothing really happened in either of these books. Looking back on them, they were just cutesy love stories, which like, is that all these books are? Not to say that that's like bad, it's just like personally my cup of tea. Like, I just want a little more in books. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see. I'm just a little worried because like, I don't know if I'm gonna really like I wanted to enjoy them more. Oh my god, hello sun. I really hope I like it. Yeah, guys, I'm having an issue. I'm having an issue with this book. I think maybe you're not meant to read Elsie Silver books back to back to back to back to back, because I can't deal with these characters. So I'm only like 94 pages in. I'm up to chapter 11. The premise so far is like Billy, this girl who has been working really hard most of her life to become like a horse trainer, gets hired at this ranch by, you know, the classic like son of a successful legacy, and he's a dickhead and all that, you know, classic, we know the story. He doesn't make sense to me. It's just too cliche, like this character, he's so annoying. He's like, you know, like he's pissed off at her. He initially thinks his mum has just sent this woman there to date him, and so he's just like a dickhead off the bat to her. He's so overtly horned up that I'm like, you really need to work on this, because your internal monologue is a chore to read, personally. Every time he looks at her, he's like, yeah, but those lips, ooh, my cock is throbbing. Like, Anyway, I haven't even gotten up to the part that made me put this book down. He's been working with horses all his life, right? She gets hired on to be the head trainer. They've got this particularly tricky horse that no one has been able to like have any success with because this horse is just like being violent and aggressive. So naturally it's her job to like take this horse as her like project. He thinks she's insane because, wait for it, she's talking to the horse. Has anyone ever tried to train an animal ever as a mute? I haven't been with horses my entire life. You talk to them, particularly when you're a trainer. But he's like, oh, I think she's like, might be a bit insane. Like maybe I've hired someone with a screw loose because she's talking to the horse, the worrisome horse. Like how else are you meant? For a second there, I was like, oh my God, at least there's actually like, at least there's something happening, like she's gonna be training this horse. But I also know that there's a point in this, oh yeah, cool, just opened up to a random page, it's a sex scene. I just like, I don't care. I don't think these books are for me. There was zero character development in my opinion in the first two books. Like I went on Storygraph, and you know how on Storygraph it makes you like check boxes, like do you think the plot is more character or plot driven? How's the pacing? And then there's one for like, is there any character development? I was like, no. And then when I saw that like 94% or something of other people had said like, yes, I looked, I was in a single digit % of people who thought that there wasn't any character development. And that I think was my first moment where I went, oh, like I leant back from the computer and I was like, I don't think I'm the audience for these books. It's been 3 days. I desperately wanted to read this and finish it. I'm not kidding, like I really did want to, but this is a DNF. The reason it's a DNF is because I end up in like a reading slump because I can't read anything else. I can't do anything else like for pleasure, if that makes sense, because I like, this just stares at me at the other end of the room. It's like, well, you've got some leisure right there, why don't you just read it? But every time I picked it up, I tried. I tried 3 times.
Sadly, I have not been able to do so. I tried 3 times.
And I just can't do it anymore. I mean, absolutely zero disrespect to Elsie Silver. The proof is in the pudding from earlier in this video when I said that I was really enjoying. I'm not gonna do it again. It's called Flawless. Flawless? Sorry, it's not fearless. I do like her writing style and I do like, you know, some of the storylines. It's just that absolutely nothing is driving me to pick up this book because I'm pretty sure, based on evidence from the past 2, that nothing's gonna happen. Please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments because I will probably pick this up again in the future when I'm in a stage of my cycle that makes me want to read a cutesy romance. That's why it's fun to be a girl. The real meaning of mood reading. But for now, I guess I'm dead inside.